Amara Jackson woke to the soft hum of traffic drifting through the cracked window of her temporary apartment, a borrowed shoebox studio that smelled faintly of old detergent and lavender incense. She lay still for a long moment, staring up at the water-stained ceiling, her body cocooned in blankets that weren't hers, in a space that didn't belong to her, in a life that had stopped making sense. It wasn't a dream. She rolled onto her side, eyes landing on the contract resting on the edge of the chipped coffee table. It lay open, taunting her with straight lines and sharp letters. Her name, signed in blue ink. Her stomach clenched. She sat up slowly, brushing sleep from her eyes. Her entire body felt weighed down by the decision she had made last night. Desperation had a way of making choices feel like survival. But in the cold clarity of morning, it felt like a bargain struck with shadows. She checked her phone. 8:46 a.m. One new message. Unknown number. Car arrives at 10 a.m. sharp. Wear something neutral. Driver will escort you to the Lee estate. No pleasantries. No name. Just like everything else in this agreement, clinical, efficient, controlled. She exhaled, setting the phone aside as her chest tightened. There was no room for delay. No chance to overthink it. You agreed to this, she reminded herself. You signed. You need this. Dragging herself into the tiny bathroom, Amara tied her hair into her usual high bun, smoothed her edges, and stared at her reflection. Her deep brown eyes, once bright with hope and hunger, looked different now. Wiser. Harder. But still sharp. Still proud. She showered and dressed in a soft beige midi dress with long sleeves and a cinched waist, one of the few pieces in her suitcase that hadn't been wrinkled beyond saving. It was elegant but quiet, neutral as requested. She added a light dusting of bronzer, shaped her brows with practiced care, and slipped on the gold hoop earrings she wore when she needed to feel powerful. A whisper of perfume. Nothing too bold. Nothing too soft. By 9:58 a.m., she was seated on the stoop of the apartment, her purse in one hand, a single worn suitcase by her side. The eviction notice was folded in her bag, just beneath the contract she had signed. The black sedan pulled up precisely at 10 o'clock. The driver stepped out without a word, opened the door, and took her suitcase. His face gave nothing away. Dressed in a dark uniform with white gloves, he could have been a ghost. Amara slipped into the car, the leather seats cool against the backs of her thighs. She sat straight, hands folded in her lap, watching Shanghai slide past the window as they moved deeper into the quiet, wealthy neighborhoods she used to walk through as a dreamer. She didn't feel like a bride. She felt like a woman being driven to her own auction. It wasn't long before the chaos of the city faded behind them. The roads widened. Trees lined the boulevards. Fountains appeared at intersections like status symbols. The world grew quieter, richer, and colder. Then they arrived. The Lee estate rose like a palace from a dream or a nightmare. Massive white stone walls enclosed the entire property. Beyond the iron gates, manicured hedges sculpted into precise, symmetrical designs led up a winding path toward the house itself. Amara's eyes widened slightly. This wasn't a home. It was an empire. The car pulled up to the front entrance, sleek glass, warm wood, and steel wrapped together in a modern architectural embrace. As the door opened and she stepped out, the weight of it all pressed down on her. Not just the house, the life, the role, the cost. The massive door swung open before she could even reach it. And there he was, Wei Chen. He wasn't wearing a suit this time, Just a dark charcoal shirt with his sleeves rolled up to his elbows, revealing lean, powerful forearms and perfectly tailored black trousers. His posture was relaxed, but nothing about him was casual. His presence hit her like a shift in gravity. "You're on time," he said, voice smooth as always. "I figured you'd expect nothing less." His gaze flicked down her frame, not with desire, but calculation. "You dress well under pressure." She smiled faintly. "It's a skill I've mastered." He stepped aside, allowing her in. The foyer was vast, marble floors, sweeping staircases, and sunlight pouring through skylights above. The house smelled faintly of jasmine and cedar. Everything gleamed. Everything was silent. "This will be your home," he said, walking ahead without looking back. She followed, heels echoing on the floors. "Do you always live like this?" she asked, trying not to gawk.
He didn't respond.
Just gestured toward a hallway lined with framed abstract art and hidden lights. "My grandmother lives in the East Wing. You and I will remain in the main residence." "And your parents?"
"Dead."
The word dropped like a stone. Amara's breath caught. "I'm sorry." He didn't acknowledge it, just kept walking. They stopped at a door on the second floor. "This is your room." She stepped in and nearly lost her breath. The space was larger than her entire apartment. High ceilings, a plush cream rug, a king-sized bed with ivory linens, and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the back gardens. A vanity sat by the far wall. A walk-in closet with gold handles peeked from behind sliding doors. It was like something from a bridal magazine, except there were no flowers, no celebration, no warmth. Just quiet opulence. She turned to him. "This is more than I expected." He met her gaze. "It's the bare minimum."
"You're my wife now, Amara."
"Publicly, at least. You'll be treated accordingly." She bristled slightly at the word treated, but said nothing. "I've arranged for a few essentials, clothes in your size, basic toiletries, your own bank card with a monthly allowance. The wardrobe is yours to add to. You'll receive invitations. Attend what you must. Ignore what you please." Amara moved toward the closet, sliding the door open with a soft click. Inside, silk blouses, neutral-toned dresses, and luxury heels lined up like soldiers. Everything was elegant and joyless. "It's like playing dress-up in someone else's skin," she murmured. Wei Chen stepped farther into the room, his eyes unreadable. "Then learn quickly how to make the skin yours." She turned sharply. "You talk like this isn't your first performance."
His jaw tightened.
"It isn't." Silence crackled between them. "You're not the only one with reasons," he added, his voice lower now. Amara studied him, really studied him. Beneath the perfect grooming, the cold detachment, and the billionaire confidence, she saw something raw, a flicker of tiredness in his eyes. A weight carried too long. He wasn't as untouched by all this as he wanted to seem. She wanted to ask more, but she didn't. Instead, she sat on the edge of the bed and folded her hands. "What now?" He walked toward the door, pausing before stepping out. "Dinner is at 7. Downstairs, dining room. Don't be late." Then he was gone. Amara stared at the door long after it closed. There was no wedding night, no celebration, no kiss. Only rules, and silence, and a room that sparkled like a cage. She lay back on the bed, her gaze tracing the lines of the ceiling, the chandelier swaying gently from the draft. This wasn't the life she dreamed of, but it was the life she chose. At least, for the next 365 days.